This pressure that comes with the block, you could end up inside of a box when you get your apples by out after getting set up by a thought. Opportunity, it doesn't knock. No, that's not right there, be the cops. And all of that stress that we talking, still you punching the clock. You think I want to sweep your floor from 8 to 4? Fuck, I want to take your orders for when your favorite star got an Audemars that's worth more than mama's car. Type of shit make you want to say fuck the law. When your rent's due and your kids fall, nigga, we don't even own our own quarter stores. So quarter waters, what's a quarter more, huh? We want to be an entrepreneur. We want sign checks. We want work for ourselves. We want on the next. You're too much of a threat when you're on your own assets. So the only thing they show us is how to be an outlet. So we won't connect. Let's say hi like hola. Listen to Hova. Whip up a rover. Been watching Power. Tommy and Ghost, bruh. So I need some powder. Fish scale and soda for 99 cents. Southern repair, when you gotta pay rent, make the service only 99 cents. Make it make sense, oh, make it make sense. Make the service only 99 cents. Southern repair, when you gotta pay rent, make the service only 99 cents. Make it make sense, oh, make it make sense. Yeah, money is a motive. Repeat my history, crack cocaine is like a motif. It's plain and simple, we're back in another hustle. It's in my blood, so I feel like it's time to grind. Just like the times when niggas lie. Hold up, back then was the bad days. Motherfuckers push me that way. I was a crack baby. Tell me nothing about my women. The struggle, see, I love it. Smoking, trying to struggle, she hustle. Selling everything in the house, goddamn. She ain't giving a damn no spots, goddamn. So my older brother had a man. I had to take care of us in the piece with 4 kids. There's one on the way with no flip. No food in the fridge, on some post shit. Got food stamps from the neighbors. Tower, green, that's no favors. Late night, you shop bodegas. Upper grade to me, some payer. Kool-Aid had about 4 flavors. And when time went to cash out, I could lash out. Told me to take food stamps. $15 for that kid. Fuck for that shit. Then the young nigga knows. Let it cover the coldest. Take back what they owed us. Whole world on the shoulders. No food in the kitchen but the stove work. $10 in the sack and he points to the back. Say, let me get that soda. 99 cents. Southern repair. When you gotta pay rent. Make the service only 99 cents. Make it make sense. Oh, make it make sense. Make the service only 99 cents. Southern repair. When you gotta pay rent. Make the service only 99 cents. Make it make sense. Oh, make it make sense. Yeah. So let's get this shit straight. So I gotta go take out loans to go to school, to get a job, just to pay for the loans I took out in the first place. I'm looking at this arm and hammer like I should have a hammer in my arm right goddamn now. Shit ain't make no sense. Lord, make it make sense. Goddamn. Making service only 99 cents. Hey, it's all the repair. They gotta pay rent. Making service only 99 cents. Make it make sense. Oh, make it make sense. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Make it so on 99 cents. Make it make sense, Lord. You know what I'm saying? Clap it up, everybody. Big shout out to Kevin Cottertop, man. It's a jam.
Right.
Welcome everybody to Thursday's Crucial Breakdown class. You understand? I'm also 5,000 Jaguar. The man to the right is also 500 wrong. You understand? You know, the I.S.U.P.K. under Commander Jerry Hunt started at 1 West 125th Street, all New York. You understand? If you are not in the I.S.U.P.K, you are not in the truth. You understand? So, Today's subject is everyone knows about the crimes of America, the whole earth. The world knows what America has been doing and has done to God's chosen people. You understand? Recently, the United Nations has charged America on 5 accounts of genocide, of being guilty of the mistreatment of a certain ethnic group. You understand? Not all people, just certain groups were seen as being done wrong by America. You understand? We have this article that we're going to read tonight. And with this, we have some other additional articles to prove the points of this article. So we're going to try to bring it out. You understand? What you got out? Yeah, read the paragraph first, international tribunal.
The source is Workers' World. International Tribunal finds U.S. guilty of crimes against humanity.
So, America has been found guilty of crimes against humanity. You understand? Not all humanity, but God's chosen people, the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Indians, the Israelites. You understand? The United Nations did their research and finally came to the conclusion that America is guilty and need to be brought to justice. You understand? Keep going. Now. Before we move on, give me the who is the International Tribunal first? Let's start there first. No. International Court.
This is about the court. The International Criminal Court, or ICC, investigates and, where warranted, tries individuals charged with the gravest crimes of concern to the international community.
Right.
Genocide, war crimes, crimes against humanity, and the crime of aggression.
Mm-hmm. So what this court does is it does all the research and it charges those who are guilty of those crimes. All right. So the United Nations recognize the evil that America has done to God's chosen people. All right. Read the paragraph from the bottom of the page.
Come. The International Tribunal on Human Rights abuses against Black, Brown, and Indigenous peoples.
Against who?
Black, Brown, and Indigenous peoples.
God's chosen people, man. So-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. American crimes are against you. They don't have crimes against Asian people, against, Africans, against Arabs. They have crimes against God's chosen people. Go ahead.
Was held on October 23rd through 25th at the Malcolm X and Dr. Betty Shabazz Memorial and Educational Center in Washington Heights, New York.
Come
on. New York City, aka Turtle Island, Lenape Land. The main theme of the tribunal was we still charge genocide in recognition of the we charge genocide, the crime of government against the Negro people.
Keep reading. Next paragraph.
Next paragraph. The 2021 indictment is against the United States of America.
Against who?
The United States of America.
Come on.
Represented by its president, Department of State, federal and state policing agencies, and other governmental institutions.
Right. So this indictment is against America. And not too long ago, the president and the vice president, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, came out and said that America is not a racist country at all. You understand? The United States research begs to differ. All right, keep going.
Background. The panel of jurists heard testimony emphasizing the millions upon millions of indigenous and African peoples murdered.
Now, if I may, y'all keep hearing the word African, but it's talking about the Negroes. Don't get us confused with those doodle-eating Hamites.
Right.
All right, keep going.
Disappeared and nearly exterminated over a period from 1492 through the present.
Read that sentence again, if you could.
Khan. The panel of jurors heard testimony emphasizing the millions upon millions of indigenous and African peoples murdered, disappeared, and nearly exterminated over a period from 1492 through the present.
Now, this jury heard thousands of examples, thousands of witnesses tell about the crimes that was done since 1492. 1492 is when the transatlantic slave trade started, not 1619. Give me a Black Indians, Dr. Shah. 1492, when Columbus set sail, that's when the transatlantic slave trade started, man. When he picked up those Native Indians, those Hispanic brothers. You understand? Page 27 now.
Khan. This book is called Black Indians by William Lorenz Katz.
Right.
Page 27, middle of the page, second paragraph. The Christopher Columbus, whose unique seamanship and courage had opened the Americas to European penetration, also began the transatlantic slave trade.
Also what?
Also began the transatlantic slave trade.
The transatlantic slave trade started in 1492, almost 200 years before the so-called Negro went to slavery. You understand? Those Hispanic brothers, those Native Indian brothers, caught the same fate that we did. You know what I'm saying? We are the same people, same curses. You can drop it out.
Okay.
All right, keep reading the paragraph.
Further, the witnesses and prosecution argued that the wrongs have been historic.
That the what?
That the wrongs have been historic.
That the wrongs have been historic. The word historic means having great or lasting impact. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And deliberate.
And what?
And deliberate.
The word deliberate, what that mean? You know what I'm saying?
To be done on purpose.
It was done on purpose. It wasn't no accident that we came over these slave ships. It was on purpose. It wasn't no accident our people was lynched, women bellies cut open. It was done on purpose. You understand? Main reason, because the white man is the devil.
Right.
You understand? That's the main reason. It was done on purpose. Go ahead.
With colonization, racism, militarism, imperialism, materialism, criminalization, patriarchy, neo-colonialism, and internal colonialism as part of the larger process that now manifests itself in medical and digital apartheid.
So the white man used all those tools, you know what I'm saying, to enslave and to destroy the so-called Negro, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You understand? All the way down to it says it manifests itself now in medical and digital apartheid. Medical apartheid is how they treat us in the hospitals. You know what I'm saying? Digital apartheid is how we're not on the same level when it comes to the new technology and all those things. You know what I'm saying? It all manifests there. Go ahead.
Chemical warfare, environmental violence and racism, disinvestment, and a pandemic of accessible guns and drugs.
Come on.
With the majority of gun violence perpetrated by police.
By who?
By police and security forces in the false claim of upholding the law and order.
The police came out of slavery. You know what I'm saying? Those slave catchers back then are the police of today. You know what I'm saying? Back then they killed with no impunity, and they do it today. You know what I'm saying? They're not doing it for the law. They're doing it for their own pleasure. You understand? Right. Like, shoot a nigga in his back. What law does that help? You know what I'm saying? But what it does is it helps that bloodlust you got. You know what I'm saying? And that hatred against that people. You understand? Keep going.
Bottom of the page. Statements were made testifying to new forms of colonialism, which include the prison industrial complex,
Mhm.
the military industrial complex, and the commercialization of our health and privatization of commodification of all social services.
Right. So the problem is, so America makes so much money off our destruction that private prisons has become a wealth grab. You know what I'm saying? The white man all over this country is making private prisons because he makes money of us going into those prisons. The United Nations, they know this. It's documented. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, you're the next page, Jack.
Slack, if I may, I want to go back to this word militarism.
There you
The definition of that is the belief or desire of a government or people that a country should maintain a strong military capability and be prepared to use it aggressively to defend or promote national interests. You know what I'm saying? When Christopher Columbus came over here, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, he created an image to the people back home that we were savages.
go. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, we didn't know y'all didn't know us. You know, so we gonna defend our home. So the picture that he painted was, man, they are savages, man. Anybody they come across, they killing. Like, they don't have no type of civilization. They're not civil. They're not domesticated. They're just animals. So that was the picture that he painted back, you know, to England, to get them to militarize this new country. You know what I'm saying?
It's like I may himself, but if I may, when he first touched down in the Americas, he said that these are the greatest people I have ever seen in my life.
Right.
Then he went back to, you know what I'm saying? But and he had to turn them into savages to enslave them. You know what I'm saying? But at first, when he first seen them, he thought they were the greatest people ever.
Right.
Well, I didn't cut y'all.
No. That's heavy, sir. Because, you know, that even trickles down to how the police, how the police treat us now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They treat us as savages. You know what I'm saying? Like this article just said. You know, they dump, you know what I'm saying, drugs and weapons into our neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying, and created chaos. So now that gives them reason to attack. You know what I'm saying? And when you deprive any people or any person of anything, you know what I'm saying, survival instincts kicks in. You know what I'm saying? When somebody is poor, when a nation is poor, like, survival instincts kicks in. So if you compile that with drugs and a means to get what they want with the weapons, that's what you get. You know what I'm saying? So it was purposely planted on us to become savages so they can hunt us down. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got for right now.
No, that was a heavy point. You know, so we're on the military. Black people join the military. So what kind of car they try to get? What kind of car? Is it a Camry or something? Well, they join it for a country who hates them. You join the army to fight for a country who's hated you since your birth. Since you came on slave ship, this country has hated you. Yeah, you joined them for a Camry. I don't think it's a Camry. It's something. It ain't worth it though.
It's a Malibu or something.
You know what I'm saying? A Charger.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You put your life in harm's way for a damn Charger. To a country who doesn't care if you exist or not. Who doesn't care if you get health care? You know what I'm saying? Who doesn't care if you really have food on your table? But you fight for them for a damn Charger. You know what I'm saying? We are a destroyed people, man. We are. And it's America's fault. It's their fault. You know what I'm saying?
And so, like, to piggyback off that, you know what I'm saying? Like, they've made movies about it. You know what I'm saying? They glorify it, you know, and it's a great thing, you know what I'm saying? Like the Tuskegee Airmen, you know what I'm saying? They made a movie with, you know, with the Red Tails, where, you know what I'm saying, black pilots was taking suicide missions. Like, it wasn't because, you know what I'm saying, we weren't incompetent that we couldn't fly. They were in flight school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They knew how to fly. They knew how to work on the plane. Not only work on the plane, they knew how to fly what they were working on.
Right.
It's just like driving a car. Any black man that you see that works on a car, damn sure he know how to drive it.
Right.
He knows how it operates. It wasn't because we were incompetent why they didn't send us to of course what they portray. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want to send us into what I'm saying, like dangerous situations. But the white man didn't want to go on some of those missions because they knew they wasn't coming home.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why they sent black people to test the waters. And when they came out, you know what I'm saying, they downplayed it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's all I got.
No sweat. Great point. Keep reading that to the next page. You feel about the show.
Come.
Page 3.
Can we finish it?
At the top. Page 3 at the top.
Come. The testimonies include substantial evidence of the erasure of histories.
The what?
Erasure of histories.
The erasure of history, man. One of the most important things that we don't know about ourselves is our history, is our culture. You understand? Our people can't tell you the God they worship when we was on the west coast of Africa. They can't tell you the type of foods we eat. You know what I'm saying? The type of clothes we wear. They can't tell you those things. Why? Those things were erased. You understand? By our oppressors. You understand? Give me Jeremiah 17:4. It's on that page.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage.
Yeah, what?
Discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee.
Right, man. The Most High gave us this heritage, man. It's the most special heritage on earth. You know what I'm saying? We discontinued from it because of our disobedience to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? And our oppressor, man, we came over on ship, he stripped us of our culture. To the point to where you ask them 10 Negroes who they all give you 10 different answers.
Right.
You ask a Hamite, a real African who he is, he's gonna tell you the state, the country, the state, the tribe, the street,
All the way down to the hut.
all the way to the hut. You know what I'm saying? All the way down to the hut. Because they know who they are.
Right.
They have erased our history. Keep going.
Come. And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not.
And that's what we're doing now. We're serving our enemies in the land that we know it's not. You know what I'm saying? It's not our homeland. You know what I'm saying? We are second-class citizens in this land. Our history proves it. There's no equality for us in this land. Go back to our slide.
Come.
Read it from the top.
The testimonies include substantial evidence of the erasure of histories.
Matter of fact, all history doesn't start when we came here on slave ships. That's what the history books, every movie that's about us, it starts with slavery and on forward. You know what I'm saying? Because they have erased so much history. In our mind, that's all we know. We think we started over here in slavery. Go ahead.
Come. Distortion and cultural misappropriation.
Distortion of what?
And cultural misappropriation contributes to and exacerbates the attempted invisibilization and denial of people's basic humanity.
The word distortion means the action of giving a misleading account or impression. You know what I'm saying? Our history has been misled. Now in schools, they say that we weren't forced to do it. They say we willingly came over here to be put in slavery. That's distortion of the truth.
Right. In schools, they're trying to change it to the transatlantic migration.
Migration, you know what I'm saying? Good night.
You know what I'm saying? So which means that we left our country to find something better.
Good night.
We migrated, you know what I'm saying, which was clearly not the case.
Right. And what's the greatest distortion of all time is Jesus Christ being a white man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That is a misleading truth. Distortion of the truth. All right? Keep reading up.
Come. The profound impacts.
Start at distortion.
Okay, come. Distortion and cultural misappropriation.
Cultural what?
Misappropriation.
What is cultural misappropriation? You know what I'm saying? That's when another culture takes on your culture. You understand? Give me Revelation 2 and 9, man. This is the biggest cultural appropriation of all time. Go ahead.
Khan. This is Revelations chapter 2, verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation
Right.
and poverty.
The Lord says, man, look, he knows our works, our tribulation, our poverty. Go ahead.
Khan. But thou art rich,
You are rich because we are his chosen people, man. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are
He
Jews
knows the great lie of them who say they are Jews. Go ahead.
and are not,
And what?
and are not,
Hmm?
but are the synagogue of Satan.
Cultural misappropriation, man. They're taking the culture of God's chosen people and taking it on as themselves. That is cultural. That's the true definition of cultural misappropriation. You understand? Go ahead.
Khan. And cultural misappropriation contributes to and exacerbates
What?
exacerbates
That's 5 points. Go ahead.
right, the attempted invisibilization and denial of people's basic humanity.
Right. If you don't know who you are, man, you know, if everything about you is a lie, you're going to be stripped of basic humanity. You don't know who the hell you are. You don't know what, you know what I'm saying? What you can achieve in life. All you know is the lies that have been taught to you. Keep going.
Khan. The profound impacts of all these realities extend beyond the erasure and attempt to exterminate Black, brown, and indigenous lives.
To exterminate who?
Black, brown, and indigenous lives. Hence, as one witness stated, the colonization of the spirit and mind continues to this day.
Right. They took the chains off of us, but yet mentally we are still chained. You understand? That falls in line with Stockholm syndrome. We did definition of Stockholm syndrome. Shut up.
Khan. Khan. Stockholm syndrome definition is a condition in which hostages develop a psychological bond with their captors during captivity.
In our case, the slave has made a bond with the slave master. Stephen from Django. Stephen from Django is every Negro in America.
Right.
You understand? You have made a bond with the man who oppresses you and your people. Matter of fact, I'm gonna speak on this. I was watching a big shout out to Taiwan on Gag. The brother did an excellent breakdown on who the Native Indians are. Well, someone from YouTube took his breakdown and did their own breakdown of his breakdown. You know what I'm saying? And it was a real Native American brother who did it. He was going against I.S.U.P.K and what we teach. And he was saying that we're wrong because we call the white man the devil. And he said that his elders would never do that because they have love in their hearts. You know what I'm saying? And in my mind, I'm thinking that is Stockholm syndrome. Like the white man right now has built skyscrapers on the blood of your brothers, the blood of your forefathers. You're ready to love them. Because you know why? You're a Christian.
Right.
You're a Christian who wears Indian fringes and go to powwows. That's all you are.
Right. They built a whole stadium. LSU football stadium is built on Indian mounds, what they call it.
Man. Every elementary in Texas is built on Indian graveyard. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. You love your oppressor and you hate your brother. How could you hate, man? The white man used to throw bodies and bodies of Native Indians on top of each other, dead bodies on top of each other, man, and burn them.
Right.
Steal kids and force them to boarding schools and force them to forget their history, erase their history. You can forget that? I can't. I'm frustrated. Like, I haven't even counted the stuff that the oppressor does to us now because I'm still frustrated from things that happened 100 years ago.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My anger got to catch up to today. I can't do it. because I love my people, man. And that's what we teach here in I.S.U.P.K, man. We teach compassion for our brothers, which nobody outside this wall has. You know what I'm saying? Come on, that's right.
Come. The testimonies of this tribunal reaffirm the traditional wisdom and knowledge of Black, brown, and indigenous peoples.
Come on.
Strong evidence was presented on the indomitable, unbreakable resistance and resilience of the people's struggle for justice and dignity. In the face of egregious human rights violations and crimes against humanity, this spirit of collective survival shone through.
We survived all the hell that we've been through. And it's not that we done all this because the Lord was with us. You know what I'm saying? We have been through hell. Give me Jeremiah 31.
Come. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, verse 35. Thus saith the Lord, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. The Lord of hosts is his name. If those ordinances depart from before me, saith the Lord, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever.
Right, man. The Lord said he set ordinances in place, man, the sun, the moon, the stars. If those things cease to exist, Israel would die. But yet those things are still alive and you know what I'm saying, and doing their thing today, so we're still here today. And all the things that these other nations try to do us, try to exterminate off the planet, try to get rid of us, we're still here today, man. You know what I'm saying? We're still here today because why? Those ordinances that the Lord put in place are still here. No other people could take what happened to us and still be here today and survive.
Right.
You know, Asian man can go through slavery and still be here. You know what I'm saying? Today can do that. We survived slavery. Now we are the minds of America. Everything that America has right now, we invent. We are the entertainers of America. Everything that you like, we invent. Every fashion thing that you wear, we invent. You understand? Because why? Give me Deuteronomy 7:6.
Come. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Right, we are separate people, man. Go ahead.
The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
Right.
Above all people,
Equal.
above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
The Lord said we're above all people, man. Black man, Hispanic man, Native American man. Once you turn your hat backwards, the earth turned their hat backwards. You understand? Right. Once your music became popular, the whole earth now jams your music. You understand? Every trend we set, you know what I'm saying? And every hell we've been through, we fall out of it.
Right.
Every trap, we fall out of it. Every time we were set back, we excelled further than we thought. Because why? We are the Lord's chosen people.
Right. The salt of the earth. The
salt of the earth, man. You sprinkle the salt on something, you know what I'm saying? I made a steak before I got here. I threw the salt on that boy and ooh-wee. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Ooh-wee.
You know what I'm saying? And we got to stop condoning people taking our culture and everything, man, because, you know what I'm saying, every time you turn on social media or whatever, it's another culture, you know, taking our style of dressing, dancing, you know, entertainment or whatever it is. You know, like these cats we done made popular, the Island Twin. The two white boys that got the Island Boys, whatever they call. They got tattoos all over their face, their body. They got, you know, dried up cactus dreads. You know what I'm saying?
And they're famous from acting like niggas.
Right.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? In China, you got a whole Crip gang. You know what I'm saying? They what up, cuz? What up? You know what I'm saying? They wearing blue. They making the blue, so you know what I'm saying? They wearing the bandana before they send them over here.
Yeah. Out the factory, out the press, you know what I'm saying? Right. And you're right, man. Everybody wants to be us, but don't nobody want to be us.
Right. Until it's time to be us.
Until it's time to be us. You know what I'm saying? So we have a spirit to fight in us, And it's only because we are God's chosen people. You understand? Keep reading that.
Come.
So now we're gonna get into the five the five things that America was guilty for you know for being brought up to these guilty charges by the UN. Go ahead.
All right, we're on page 4 of this article. The first one is police killings. Testimony was heard regarding an alarming pattern and practice of police murdering black, brown, and indigenous people without impunity.
Murdering who?
Black, brown, and indigenous people with impunity.
You know what's crazy? I've never seen an African be killed by police. Them niggas are darker than us. You know what I'm saying? You ought to be midnight blue. Yet I have not seen anyone be killed by police. So it's not really about skin color. It's about who you are and the spirit that's on this earth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We are informed that a recent commission of inquiry found that black people are 3.5 times more likely than white people to be killed by police.
3.5 times. And you know who's the aggressor all the time? White people.
Right.
And they don't get killed.
I've seen videos where a white man have drawn their weapon on a white cop, and he begged and pleaded him, just put your gun down, we can talk this out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And right now, you know what I'm saying, they trying their best to free this young boy Rittenhouse.
Rittenhouse.
They trying their best to just slap him on the wrist. You know what I'm saying? After you saw him walk down the street with an assault rifle. You know what I'm saying? Doing the Heil Hitler sign at the police. But we hold up our hand with a phone or a wallet. We switch cheese.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And if I may, and that's because white people are one body.
Right.
They're one body with each other. When it comes to us, we are divided. And a lot of our division is based on loving them.
Right.
Like when we go to camp and speak, it's not white people who come against us. It's our people. Black people will not let you talk evil against white people. And what I mean by evil is calling the devil. They will not let you do that. We take that picture of white Jesus and throw it to the ground. Don't let Hispanics to see that. Because then you got to kill her. Because she's going to fight you for that. When we at camp, it's our people we got to fight against. The white people, they are one body.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, to the point to what's like for me,
that.
That, you know, the dude, he was 17 years old, which means he's supposed to go to big boy jail.
Right.
They sent him to a juvenile detention center. While we had another brother that was charged with stealing a backpack, and they sent him to Rikers Island. You know what I'm saying? That's like one of the most dangerous jails in America.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But they sent this murderer to a juvenile detention center where, you know, they probably got PlayStations in there. You know what I'm saying? They got couches and therapeutic walls and art classes versus Rikers Island where you eating probably a half-molded sandwich, rats and bugs running around. It's cold. You don't got nothing to keep you warm.
And it's niggas in there who gonna make him pay for what he did.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the white man is saving his own. That's
right.
Compassion for your brother.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Keep reading that slide.
Come. We are informed that a recent commission of inquiry found that black people are 3.5 times more likely than white people to be killed by police when blacks are not attacking or do not have a weapon.
Right. We are shot when we're running from the police.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're shot when we're handing the police our ID. When we're digging for our wallet to show the police our ID. We're shot when we're following the rules. You know what I'm saying? A white man is wrestled to the ground, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And taken care of. With the devil who went and killed those nine people at church.
Pulled up at Burger
King. And they took him to Burger King after he killed 9 black people in the church. You understand? The black people invite him into their church, which is Stockholm syndrome. Because no matter who you are, you're not coming here, devil. You're not coming here. And he went and killed 9 church women that day. Police came, apprehended him, and took him to Burger King. Go ahead.
Disaggregated data for other peoples is lacking.
There's no data on other people's. You know what I'm saying? There's no data. Hispanic people are killed. If I'm not mistaken, 3 point, I think it's 3. They're killed that many times. And forget about the brothers on the reds. Their lives don't even get counted for. Police walk around and just kill them and keep it moving. The brothers at the border, forget about it. They don't walk their deaths down.
Right.
They just dead body in the ditch. Keep moving. Black Hispanics, Native Indians, man, are traumatized by the police. You know what I'm saying? And the United Nations, they know this. It's documented in their research. All right? Let's go to the next one. Oh, sorry, Salaki, you gotta bring the scriptures up. Give me Zechariah 11:5 on the paper.
Come. This book of Zechariah, chapter 11, verse 5. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty.
Right, man. They kill us and they Kyle Rittenhouse. They're
Right.
trying to get him off, not guilty. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these shootings that, matter of fact, a lot of shootings that happen to black people, police officers are given paid vacation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And they shall sell them, Salaki, and they that sell them say, Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not.
Right, man. Our leaders that sell us to these other nations, man, they get rich off of us.
Right.
They get rich off of this. You know what I'm saying? And they pity us not. They don't give a damn about us. As long as their pockets getting big and getting full, man, that's all they care about. Like $1 is more important than a brother. You know what I'm saying? Give me Jeremiah 50:6, man.
Come. That's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 7. All that found them have devoured them.
All what?
All that found them have devoured them.
We are devoured, man, in America. You know what I'm saying? Our men, our women, both Hispanic and black brothers feel the jailhouse up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Really?
And their adversaries said, We offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord.
Right. So they say, you know, oh, there's no problem with them. Look, they sin. They both been in this position.
Right.
So we're gonna continue doing what we're doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's their mentality. Like our oppressor knows who we are, and they know that the longer we sin, the longer they stay on top.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we continue to sin, they're gonna continue to put their foot on our necks. Go ahead.
Come. The habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers.
Right. Give me Lamentations 4:18.
Come. This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 18. They hunt our steps.
Do what?
They hunt our steps, that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled, for our end is come.
Right, man. Look, they hunt our steps, man. Like we are public enemy number 1 in America when it comes to police. You know what I'm saying? And you damn near gotta be less of a man when you deal with them just to avoid your life being not taken. You know what I'm saying? You're not getting snuffed out. Because all was happening is you be put on a t-shirt, he's gonna get a paid vacation, he's gonna get moved to another unit, and he's gonna keep working there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They hunt our steps, man. And then it's a not guilty verdict every time.
Right. And even if it's a guilty verdict, I mean, only months' time is sentenced.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or it may be time served. Or it may be a hefty fine that, you know, he can pay, or the union that he worked for gonna pay it for him. Yeah, we're gonna give you 18 months with a $15,000 fine. Okay, no sweat. All right, the union we gonna pay 13,000 of that, and he gotta come out of $2,000 out of his own pocket.
Right.
No sweat, I can do that. You know what I'm saying? Like I work in a facility, man, where you know when these juvenile kids when they go to court, when you go inside this court, the court it's full of white kids, it's full of blacks, and it's full of Hispanics. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, when you go into the detention cells, where they keep them, it's nothing but blacks and Hispanics. You know what I'm saying? You got a kid, okay, he may have robbed this store. Okay, that's fine. He can be detained. But this white kid, he done burnt down his house. He done beat up his grandpa. You know what I'm saying? He done tortured and burnt the cat and killed the cat.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He done stole his dad's hot rod, did 100 down the freeway and killed two people. But he goes home. You know what I'm saying? He never has to go sit in detention. You know what I'm saying? And the only reason why Rittenhouse is sitting in some type of facility is because it was nationally recognized.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If it was on the low, if it was just local news, or even not even local news, he would be at home playing Xbox right now.
Leg things on.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them on. That's true.
Yeah, ankle monitor.
Ankle monitor. Right.
Yeah, he'll be in there playing Fortnite or Call of Duty or whatever right now.
All the gun killing games.
All the gun killing games.
In high school.
Right. He's getting praise online. Hey man, I saw you shoot them niggers, man.
Mm-hmm.
Good job. I wish I was with you, bro. Next time you go, let me know. I'm going tomorrow.
George Zimmerman is right now still doing a U.S. tour signing autographs.
Right.
He goes around the country signing bags of Skittles.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They hunt out steps, man. All right, you in the next section, man. So we did police killings, and next is mass incarceration.
All right, next section, mass incarceration. Testimony emphasized that in the case of U.S. constitutional law, while the 13th Amendment promised the abolition of the process of chattel slavery, it in fact created an exception incentivizing the incarceration of people of African descent and other peoples.
Right. So since the 13th Amendment was abolished, or they say, you know what I'm saying, now there's a new form of captivity now. You know what I'm saying? Where they lock you up and you do work for them. Go ahead.
Further, they argued that a school to prison pipeline has been set in motion by the racialized policies and programs of the U.S. federal and state governments.
Right. There are laws put in place to put us in jail, to keep us in prison. You know what I'm saying? When a brother come out from a bid, he end up going right back because there's things put in place for you to go back.
And that's one of the main purposes of the standardized tests in elementary and grade school and secondary school now. You know what I'm saying? Because they want to know how many prisons they got to build within the next 5 or 10 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They give your children these tests that, most likely they're not prepared for, because some of the information that's on the test is not taught in the school. You know what I'm saying? And when you go to these white schools, they learning this information. When you go to a black school, they're not. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Give me Isaiah 51:20.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 51, verse 20. Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets.
Mm-hmm.
As a wild bull in a net.
As a what?
As a wild bull in a net.
Mulattoes come through in their paddy wagons, scoop up everybody. That's a wild bull in a net, man. You know what I'm saying? Now you just another number, another spin number now. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
They are full of the fury of the Lord,
mm-hmm.
the rebuke of thy God.
Right. Give me Isaiah 42:22.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 42, verse 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled.
This is a what?
This is a people robbed and spoiled.
We are robbed and destroyed. Right?
They are all of them snared in holes.
Snared in what?
Holes.
Come on.
And they are hid in prison houses.
Yeah, what?
They are hid in prison houses.
That is, they're talking like niggas. Stop talking like that, man. I'm gonna hide you, man. You better stop it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna hide you. You know they hide you? In the prison houses, man. And we know this. Black people know this. We know these people against us.
You know, we say jailhouse all the time
Right.
because that's like a second home to us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Good night. Go ahead. Sorry, and they are here in prison houses.
And they are hid in prison houses.
At historic numbers. You know what I'm saying? We are hid in these prison houses. Our strong men are not in the homes right now because our strong men are hid in prison houses.
Right.
Go ahead.
They are for a prey and none deliver it.
And what?
And none deliver it.
They are for a prey and none deliver it, unless you're rich.
Right.
If you're rich, like niggas gonna bend their back to try to get you out of jail.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But for the average brother, you're gonna sit, you're gonna ride. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So now you can man, if you just think about it, before who was the first Thurgood Marshall? Before the first nigga ever touched a jury or a court, you know what I'm saying? Your jury and your judge was not your nation.
Right.
It wasn't your peers. You know what I'm saying? It was somebody that totally hated you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So people from the, you know, I'll just say the 50s or the 60s on back. All those brothers that was incarcerated. You know what I'm saying? For either minor, petty, or something. Most of the stuff they didn't even do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But they got an automatic guilty verdict.
Right.
And it's life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Claude and Ray.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They were just walking by a dead body and they caught the body. You know, that's what we say. So they was charged with the murder. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I got.
You will not prosper in the land of your enemies.
Right.
We're here to be second-class citizens. And this will come with being a second-class citizen. It's not equality. You know what I'm saying? This is what comes with being a second-class citizen. Keep going on.
Come. And none delivered for a spoil, and none saith restored.
You destroy, man. No one says restore. No one says fix these people, man. America is built on us being spoiled. It's built on us being destroyed. This is how this country runs. Because if we were ever to be restored back to who we are, the country would be ours. The earth would be ours. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people. All right? Keep reading that article now.
Come. One testimonial noted, the law is used as a weapon of war against black.
Uses what?
Used as a weapon of war.
Right.
Against black, brown, and indigenous peoples.
The law of this land is used as a weapon of war against Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Keep going.
Come. Further testimony indicates that there are U.S. policies of wars on poverty.
On what?
Poverty.
Who's poor in this country? Negroes, Hispanics, Native Indians. We're poor here. So the war on poverty was a war against us. Go ahead.
Wars on drugs, wars on terror, and others, amounting to a war on black, brown, and indigenous peoples as they disproportionately criminalize their youth and communities.
No matter what type of war it was, the war was against us. You know what I'm saying? And read the next article on the next page. This is President Richard Nixon's, one of his cabinet members, man. And he came out and said something that was mind-blowing, you know what I'm saying? That people still understand today of how this country hates us. Keep reading from that.
Can I read in the redneck voice?
No. It's like he was in the office cabinet. He talked real proper.
Right.
He knew what was going on. Go ahead.
This is in quotations. You want to know what this war on drugs was really all about? The Nixon campaign in 1968 and the Nixon White House after that had two enemies: the anti-war left and black. The anti-war left and black people.
President Nixon's cabinet had two enemies. What?
The anti-war left and black people.
Come on.
You understand what I'm saying? We knew we couldn't make it illegal to be either against the war or black, but by getting the public to associate the hippies with marijuana and blacks with heroin, and then criminalizing both heavily.
So, if I may, so the hippies were against the war. They want, love and peace and all that. And that's anti-war to them. You know what I'm saying? And black people, we just hated for being Israel, for being God's chosen people. So they put marijuana on the hippies, and they put heroin on us. Go ahead.
We could disrupt those communities.
Mm-hmm.
We could arrest their leaders, raid their homes, break up their meetings, and vilify them night after night on the evening news. Did we know we were lying about the drugs? Of course we did.
Of course it is. Now, who is this? Who said this?
This is John Ehrlichman, assistant to the president for domestic affairs under President Richard Nixon.
Mass incarceration. Every war that America had was really a war against black people. You understand? Let's go to the next subject, guys.
Next subsection, political prisoners, prisoners of war. Arguments were made presenting the criminalization of legitimate political struggles, most particularly of black, brown, and indigenous peoples.
Right?
One witness testified that it is like a counterintelligence program on steroids.
Good night. So these political prisoners of black Hispanic Indians, you understand? They were just people who wanted to better their own people. You understand? For the Black Panther Party. The Black Panther Party did not hate or have military out to fight anybody. They wanted to better their people. And bettering their people was anti-United States. You understand? Negroes being comfortable and loving one another is anti-United States. So what they did was counterintelligence programs. Sent them in, destroyed those people. And then it says counterintelligence programs on steroids. So they put power behind the things that they were doing to us. Destroying us as a people, destroying our organizations that try to help feed people, man. You know what I'm saying? The United Nations, their research proves this. You know what I'm saying? We're going to prove this with this article. Read the next article right out.
Con.
Matter of fact, read that next highlight, then read the article.
Con. Further testimony was presented arguing that decades-long sentences have been imposed to those in prison for their political beliefs.
Right, man. They hid these boys in jailhouses, man, just for being different than what America wants us to do. Like, your brother's still in jail today. I agree with that paragraph 5.
Okay, this is black political prisoners in the United States. Right column, top of the page. You cannot talk about black political prisoners in America without talking about the Black Panther Party.
Right.
The overwhelming majority of black political prisoners in this country were members of the Black Panther Party.
Most people who's in jail for being a political prisoner today mostly came from the Black Panther Party. Go ahead.
Second paragraph. Then, as now, the Black Panther Party was initially informed by the murder and the brutality of police in Oakland, California.
Right, so they were first formed because of police brutality. Same thing was going on today. Black Panther Party was first formed due to the police brutality that was taking place back then. Go ahead.
Bottom of the page, bottom paragraph. Sometimes people think that the Black Panther Party was a bunch of extremists, and therefore the people who became political prisoners were also extreme.
They think they was extremists, like those Arabs and fly in planes and hit buildings. They think those the Black Panther Party extremists like that. But nah, they were not. Go ahead.
Were also crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But political prisoners are just like you and me.
They're like who?
You and me.
Come on.
They don't think wild things. They think children ought to eat 3 times a day.
Eat what?
3 times a day.
The Black Panther Party started from police violence, and they also their church need to what?
Eat 3 times a day.
Come on.
They think the people ought to have a decent education,
right?
decent housing,
Mm-hmm.
and those were the things that people were struggling for back in the day. They were a game. I grew up thinking that. I know there are people in here my age who grew up thinking that.
And they grew up thinking that because of the propaganda that was pushed by America. To think that the Black Panther Party was the game, when they were just brothers who wanted to protect their people and feed children 3 times a goddamn day. But that's anti-America. That's anti-United States. That caused deaths. Brothers still locked up to this day because they wanted to feed children 3 times a day. All right. So we've covered political prisoners, mass incarceration, and also we had police killings. All right. Let's go to the next one.
Environmental racism.
Environmental racism, number 4 count that the United Nations have picked against America for their crimes against Black and Spanish Native Indians. Go ahead, Doc.
Testimony was received arguing the impact of environmental violence. The prosecution contended that there is a deliberate and callous poisoning of land, water, air, and soil, reflecting the valuing of profits over peoples, which threatens the survival of the planet and impacts most devastatingly the lives of Black, brown, and indigenous peoples.
What seems to be the theme is the focus on Blacks, brown, and indigenous people. These people are being attacked by America, man. You know what I'm saying? And now environmental racism, a good example of that is Flint, Michigan, man. Flint, Michigan water was like killing people, killing kids. You know what I'm saying? And no one did nothing about it. You know why? Because it was mostly Black people who were being suffered, who suffered during that time. Had it been mostly white people, and they came and redid the whole water. You understand? Bring that article out for me. Read the name at the top.
This is the Flint water crisis. Everything you need to know. A story of environmental injustice and bad decision making. The water crisis in Flint, Michigan began in 2014 when the city switched its drinking water supply from Detroit's system to the Flint River in a cost-saving move. Inadequate treatment and testing of the water resulted in a series of major water quality and health issues for Flint residents. Issues that were chronically ignored, overlooked, and discounted by government officials, even as complaints mounted that the foul-smelling, discolored, and off-tasting water piped into Flint homes for 18 months was causing skin rashes, hair loss, and itchy skin. The Michigan Civil Rights Commission, a state-established body, concluded that the poor governmental response to the Flint crisis was a result of systematic racism.
Of what?
It was a result of systematic racism.
So they changed the drinking water supply from Detroit system to the Flint River to save money, man. To save money. And man, they didn't give a damn what those Negroes drank. They didn't care. We want to save these couple dollars, man. And it took them 18 months to even take notice of it, to even care about it. You know what I'm saying? And they conclude that the poor governmental response to the Flint crisis was a result of systematic racism. These people hate God's chosen people, man. You understand? Keep reading that.
Later studies will reveal that the contaminated water was also contributing to a doubling and in some cases tripling of the incidence of elevated blood lead levels in the city's children, imperiling the health of its youngest generation.
You want to destroy the next generation? This is what you do. You want to have them mentally ill? This is what you do.
Right.
You give them water, which is a necessity for our body, and you taint that water. This is what you do. That's a crime against humanity, man.
That's biological warfare.
Yeah, that's damn right. Damn right. But black people in America, we don't see it like that. Brown people don't see it like that. This is our oppression. This is what oppression does to you. To keep you at the bottom, they do these type of things to you. You will never be equal in this land. Your generations on down will be sick. Those kids in Flint, Michigan, they might well you can't have kids. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They probably don't have the brain function it takes to deal with the opposite sex. You know what I'm saying? Like bad drinking water. You know what I'm saying? This will be the start of a devastating case, man, for our younger people, for the younger generation, man. This is not a win. And we sit on our laurels, man, because we looking for this nation to save us when actually this nation is the ones that's pushing us further and further into captivity. All right. So that's environmental racism. That's 4 counts. Let's go to the next one now.
The next one is public health inequities.
Mm-hmm.
The testimony highlighted deep public health inequities, including both physical and mental health manifestations.
Mm-hmm.
Further assertions were made that the COVID-19 pandemic and an inadequate and incompetent federal response to this crisis magnified the desperate impact of structural racism affecting access to health care.
Right, man. The physical and the mental issues that black people deal with, white people have those too. But because they have access to better health care than us, they are fixed. They are made better, made whole. With us, we die. If we don't die, these health issues plague us for the rest of our lives. You know what I'm saying? Like they tell you we're supposed to be equal, but the hospitals and the doctors, they have been proven us to not be equal to them for hundreds of years. You understand? How do the white man know how much calorie can the human body take a day? You know why? They starve you out. They use your body to figure those things out. You understand? Keep reading
that. Second paragraph, the middle of the paragraph. The prosecution argued that from forced sterilization to food deserts and chemical contamination, from toxic stress based on the environment, from toxic stress based on the environment in which one lives, to the criminalization of mental illness, Black, brown, and indigenous people are neglected and left out of any illusion of the human right health.
Right.
Human right to health.
Right. If I may, there's been a couple of times where the police would call to the home of a brother who had mental issues, and they killed him on spot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't consider our issue. Now, had it been a white man, they'd have probably hugged him and gave him coffee. You know what I'm saying? But us, they draw the gun first. All right, keep going.
While these crimes are well documented, they have more rarely been acknowledged, remedied, and addressed with some very distant from public knowledge.
Right. These crimes are well documented, but ain't nobody trying to fix this. Nobody. You know what I'm saying? Bring out the article I got now.
This is the Center for Medicare Advocacy. Defining health disparities. The term health disparities is often defined as a difference in which disadvantaged social groups, such as the poor, racial, ethnic minorities, women, and other groups who have persistently experienced social disadvantage or discrimination systematically experience worse health
Experience what?
worse health
Mm-hmm.
or greater health risk than more advantaged social groups.
We experience more worse health and greater health risks than those who are not Black, Hispanic, Native Indians. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
When this term is applied to certain ethnic and racial groups, it describes the increased presence and severity of certain diseases, poorer health outcomes, and greater difficulty in obtaining healthcare services for these races and ethnicities. When systematic barriers to good health are available yet still remain, they are often referred to as health inequities.
Right, and to prove that point, when COVID first started, white people were dying, Black people like, man, our melanin gonna save us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now all of a sudden, Black people's deaths start rising up, and white people start lowering it, rising up. Like, watch, like that. Coming through too. You know what I'm saying? It started rising up, and we were dying because why? We didn't have the health care to better ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And why the world stopped and white people went home to rest and to what they call it? We separate, we call it social distance, quarantine.
Yeah.
We were essential workers. We had to go to work. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? We had to go back outside while they went home in quarantine. We had to work. We didn't have that same lifestyle that they had. You know what I'm saying?
You know, the first cases were, they were white people. You know what I'm saying? They were the ones that got the money to go out of town and, do this and do that, and they came back with it and spread it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Read the next paragraph for me.
Come. An examination of these disparities at the local and national levels is important in order to highlight this.
This next paragraph comes from this book. It's called The Medical Apartheid. This is a great book. It documents, and I think it's the only book that ever talks about this. It goes through the dark history of medical experimentation on Black Americans from colonial times to the present. So all the things that the white man done to us, experiment on us, and you know what I'm saying, is in this book. There's not too many sources on this. This book is awesome. So he's gonna read an excerpt out of this book right now. Go ahead.
As at the national level, African American men, for instance, are more likely to die from cancer than Caucasian men,
Mm-hmm.
while Caucasian women are more likely to develop breast cancer than African American women.
Mm-hmm.
The latter are more likely to die from this particular form of cancer than Caucasian women.
Right. So it's saying that our men and women get these diseases and we die more than them. Go ahead.
Come. While Caucasian men are more likely to develop colorectal cancer than African American men, the latter are more likely to die from this cancer than the former.
Right. Although the white man, he gets colon cancer more than us, when we get it, we die. Go ahead.
On the other hand, African American men are more likely than Caucasian men to develop prostate cancer.
And that's crazy because prostate cancer, you have to, at a certain age, you go to the doctor to get that checked on. Niggas don't go to the doctor.
No,
You don't go. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Doc.
The underlying causes of these disparities are social economic policies, health access issues among African Americans, which Caucasian persons are less likely to encounter, as well as lack of health education.
Right. Our oppressor, he gets better access and he gets better knowledge and understanding of what he's going through, of how to better heal himself, or you know what I'm saying, or what better medicine to take. You know what I'm saying? Good.
And the reason for that is because, you know what I'm saying, of course, they got more money than us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So they have family doctors. You know what I'm saying? They grow up, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna have the same doctor from when you was 18 months to about 5 years, and then that's the pediatric doctor. Then you're gonna see the doctor that everybody else sees. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna track your health. So he know what your father, is having trouble with.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna take preventive measures so you don't catch the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Because he has awesome insurance, and they might be golf buddies.
Right.
So he's going to give him the inside scoop on, hey, well, don't try not to eat this, or make sure you do this, at least once or twice a week. You know what I'm saying? To keep these levels down, and blah blah this and blah blah that. You know what I'm saying? Versus us, you know what I'm saying? We got to get a gold card from the county.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? And they only cover probably 2 colds a year, and maybe a broken leg or something like that. But that's it.
Right.
All these other tests, they're gonna send you to a specialist, and those specialists, they run the checkup.
Mm-hmm.
So the care and the preventive measures that you need as Black, Hispanic, and Native American, you don't get.
Right. And if I may, and it's a running joke in the Black community. When you were younger, when you break your arm, your mom tell you to take some tussin and go lay down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We don't get the same as they do.
Right.
Because we don't have that access. You know what I'm saying? We'll read the next paragraph. Right? So far, we went through. Let's go ahead and read it. It's gonna bring it up. The last page.
After having heard the testimony of numerous victims of police racism, mass incarceration, environmental racism, public health inequities, and of political prisoners and prisoners of war.
Right. So those are the 5 counts that the United Nations put against the United States of America, charging them guilty. They were guilty. Read that from the top.
After having heard the testimony of numerous victims of police racism, mass incarceration, environmental racism, public health inequities, and of political prisoners, prisoners of war, together with the expert testimonies and graphic presentations, as well as the copious documentation submitted and admitted in the record, the panel of jurists found the U.S. and its subdivisions guilty.
Found what?
Guilty.
Found what?
Guilty
Uh-huh.
of all 5 counts.
Yeah, what?
Guilty of all 5 counts.
America has been found guilty of all 5 counts by the United Nations. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
We find grounds that acts of genocide have been committed.
We find grounds of what?
Acts of genocide.
Acts of what?
Genocide.
Acts of genocide. You know what I'm saying? That the America, old sweet America, has committed acts of genocide. Acts of Native Indians.
Right.
The earth knows the crimes that America has done to God's chosen people, man. Now, Israel has to wake up to it. We're so in love with America that we take a blind eye to the things that have been done to us and our forefathers, man. And that's self-hatred. You know what I'm saying? Keep going, read that last little sentence.
We find grounds that acts of genocide have been committed.
Give me Obadiah 1:15.
Wakana.
And the problem is, the United Nations, they see it, but also the Lord see it too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He has not forgot. He is going to bring back to remembrance what these other nations have done to us. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to fight that battle for us. All we got to do is do what he asks us to do. Keep law, statutes, commandments, man. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
This is Obadiah 1 verse 15. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto you, unto thee.
All things that they done to us is going to be done to them. Go ahead.
Thy reward shall return upon thy own head.
What goes around comes around. You know what I'm saying? Drop it. Give me Psalms 137 real quick. It's not on there. You gotta find it real quick. This is the ultimate. What goes around comes around scripture. And I gotta bring it out.
Psalm 137.
Start at verse 7.
This is Book of Psalms, chapter 137, verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom.
Children of who?
The children of Edom.
Remember these are our oppressor, Lord. These so-called white people. Go ahead.
In the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof.
When our city was going through it, you know what I'm saying? They stood over there and said, raise it, tear it down to the ground. Go ahead.
Verse 8. O daughter of Babylon.
So who?
O daughter of Babylon.
O daughter of Babylon. Good old United States. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
who are to be destroyed,
Who wants to be what?
who are to be destroyed.
America's going to be destroyed from the crimes and the injustice that's done against God's chosen people, man. Go ahead.
Happy shall he be
Uh-huh.
that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us.
You just read that over down. The reward will turn on your own head. So we're going to give you what you gave us. Go ahead.
Come, verse 9. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the
Now,
stones.
this sounds harsh, but this is so like historically accurate, man. Get a lot of hands if I may. You know what I'm saying? I got a book at the house about when the conquistadors came over. They would take the babies and run there and dash their head against the rock, and
Right.
then throw them in the tall grass.
Right.
That's going to happen to you for the crimes that you've done to us. Read that verse again.
Come. Happy shall he be
Happy shall he be.
that taketh.
Like, we won't be ashamed of it.
Right.
We won't feel some type of way.
Might have a contest.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And when it comes, I'm chunk the devil. You know what I'm saying? Baby devil. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead up.
And that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones.
You're going to feel good about it, man. Because the Lord said you should. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all was all up in the uproar with the Captain Zara didn't feed the little African boy. How you think you're going to feel when we throw their heads against a boulder?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to feel good. I want to win every contest the Lord put me in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, I read the next one.
65 feet.
Damn right. That damn right. And I'm doing it for my people. Because when they were doing to us, they was having a contest. They would take their knives and see who can cut a woman's body in half with one strike. These were contests they did to our people.
Right.
But the Native American guy was like, his forefathers forgive him. You know what I'm saying? Stockholm Syndrome. Give me Psalms 94 and 1 now.
Come. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 94, verse 1. O Lord God, to whom vengeance belongeth.
Mm-hmm.
O God, to whom vengeance belongeth. Show thyself.
Show yourself, Lord. Vengeance belongs to you. We waiting on it.
Right.
We are waiting on it. Give me Revelations. You gotta look for it. Give me Revelations 9 and 10 and 13, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Bring that out, man, because that same thing that happened to us, payback, man. That payback is coming to them, and they deserve it. 13 and 10, so I'm sorry.
Come. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
If you led God's chosen people into captivity of any form, not just America, and the crazy thing about it is, the United Nations, y'all let us in captivity too now. We forgot about y'all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got to pay too. Go ahead.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
Man, 77 million Native Indians died. Over 100 million Negroes died. Killed by the sword, man. You know what I'm saying? The same will be done to you. Go ahead.
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
Read the last sentence again.
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
This church, this scripture is not never read in church. That there are saints patiently waiting to enslave and to thrust through the sword to those that did to them.
Right.
This is not one of those scriptures that we're going to bring out in church, because this scripture is not going to fill up the offering plate. But this scripture will give you hope, though. That's what it's going to do. It's going to give you hope that the Lord is still ready to fight for you. And all you got to do, keep the laws, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
Give me Revelation, give me 14 and 12. So we already built.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 14, verse 12. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God.
They do what?
That keep the commandments of God.
And these brothers keep the law. You know what I'm saying? This is their patience. Go ahead.
And the faith of Yahushua.
And the what?
And the faith of Yahushua.
Look, man. The Lord is going to be our revenge against these other nations. All we have to do is keep his commandments and have what?
Faith of Yahweh.
Goddamn right. With that,
Maji, which means to stand. Give a courteous salute to the brothers and the sisters. Men of Israel. Maji Shabbat. Maji. Barak. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Barakatah. Yazmatah. Saul. Men of Israel. Maji Shabbat. Maji. Barak. Yahweh Shemal Atah Ba'ashem Yahushua. Yazmatah. Dismiss.